Hello, friends. Welcome back to Gecko's Gaming. Today I'm playing Niv to Light in Explorer, which is basically just the same as Pioneer now. I love this deck. I used to play a lot of Niv Mizzet decks a few years ago in the historic days, and I think maybe even Standard I played it too. Uh, and the idea is your deck's built around Niv Mizzet, and it's a 6/6 flying, costs 5 different colors to cast, and when you cast it, you get to reveal as many cards from the top of your library, or 10 cards, and you get to put as many of them into your hand that have unique color pairs. And so you'll see a lot of two-color cards in the deck, so you can get big draws off Niv Mizzet. The other thing going on here is Bring to Light. We have a toolbox for Bring to Light also, so we have a lot of one-ofs, silver bullets, utility cards. Bring to Light lets you search your library for a creature, instant, or sorcery equal to the number of colors you spend on it. So you can go up to 5 since it costs 5. You can get Niv Mizzet with it and put it right into play, as well as just a toolbox of different utility cards. You'll often get a sweeper or a utility card, strong utility card like Nahiri. I like Nahiri too because she loots rummages through your deck, and then when she ults, she can get Niv Mizzet and put him right into play. So that's pretty cool. And then she exiles artifacts, enchantments, or tapped creatures. One thing, there's a lot of relevant enchantments and artifacts in this format, so she's great. And then there's lots of ways. This deck is just really good against artifacts and enchantments like Witch's Oven or Unholy Annex, Fable the Mirror Breaker. It can deal with lots of different stuff. Artist Talent. And this is basically just a stock list that I got off of Goldfish. I made a couple tweaks too, not much. And the lands are, I'm not really messing with those yet. That's one reason I'm not going to do a lot of innovation until I play the deck a little bit more. Get some of these lands figured out. Because the mana base is very intricate and very delicate. And back when I used to actually brew this deck myself a few years ago, over time, playing a bunch of reps of the deck, I started to be able to tweak the mana base how I wanted it. But for now, I'm just going to start off with what's worked for somebody else on Goldfish, and I will go with that. We also just got Sylvan Caryatid and Bring to Light finally on Arena, so that really makes this deck viable now in a way that it wasn't before to play on Arena. Unfortunately, they did ban Gigantha in Pioneer, which I'm not really sure that was necessary. But that was another cool way to brew the deck is you play a 60 card instead of Yorion, and you play Gigantha as your companion. And I always really liked that approach to the deck, but unfortunately it's not really an option now because Gigantha's gone. Hey, so before we get started real quick, I wanted to just go through a few other options that there's many different options you can choose for cards to put in this deck, but I wanted to show you a few that I'm pretty seriously considering right now. So first we got Azorius Charm, obviously 2 colors, instant, good removal spell, but also you can cycle it away when, if you're against a creatureless deck. But it'll help remove early aggressive creatures, and then you can cycle it away when it's not good. Tyrant Scorn is another decent removal spell, and I like that it has the option to be able to bounce back like something really big from their side. Or often what happens with this deck is you can get it with Niv Mizzet, and then you can use it to bounce your Niv Mizzet back. And you can also use it as a protection spell on your own creatures too. So you can get your Niv Mizzet back for value, and that's pretty sweet. So it has that little utility. Again, another removal spell that when you don't need to use it as a removal has some utility, although obviously more marginal than the charm. The Molten Collapse, a good unconditional removal spell, and it can just take out any planeswalker or creature. So a lot of the removal in here is pretty narrow. Like if I have a Vanishing Verse, I can't take out a colorless permanent or a multicolored permanent, or there's things like that. So having like a nice just remove any creature or planeswalker, no questions asked, is really nice for the deck. And then it could also randomly, sometimes the second ability is relevant too. Sometimes you can pick up like a Witch's Oven or something like that. Kaya is good against oven decks, and I don't know, maybe she's okay against aggressive decks too. On Mordigo, really good for combo, like remove their um, just take the combo piece out of their hand. And then Maelstrom Pulse, just a decent removal spell, can deal with anything, although not very efficient. Klothys is good, just good graveyard hate. And then Tameo, I used to play Tameo in these decks. The first ability is pretty nice against like black mid range and interactive decks. Turns off their thought seizes and stuff. Like yeah, thought seize is usually best before like turn 3 or 4 when you're going to be getting her down. But if the game is long and grindy, that gets very very relevant. And you usually do have plenty of cards stocked in your hand, so even into the mid to late game. So the thought seizes are usually still viable in the black mid range decks against you, so it's helpful there. And then I really like just being able to get back, cycle through something in our graveyard, so I can get back like a Niv Mizzet after it's done its thing, or just the ability to get back any card is a really nice little utility thing sometimes when the games go really long. Juggler Silumgar is awesome. I mean, such a powerful effect. Gain control of target creature or planeswalker as long as you control it. It's 2 colors. It's good top end. The unfortunate thing about it is it costs 6, so we can't get it off Bring to Light. So if I could find an effect like this that was good to play that you could get off Bring to Light, I would be totally in. I've been looking around. There are some ways to gain control of things, but none of them are really the type of card you'd want to be playing on its own, unless you're specifically trying to do that. Silumgar is, but unfortunately you can't get it with Bring to Light. So, and then Roaring Furnace you can get off Niv Mizzet since it's 2 colors, and then it's a good removal spell early on. Easy to cast, I like that part of it a lot. And then really good value on the back end later on if you can get there. And then the other thing about this too that's kind of nice in this deck is when you're picking up a removal spell with Niv Mizzet, it kind of reloads the Roaring Furnace. Because you're going to be usually getting like a few cards off this. So usually Roaring Furnace falls off late game, but if you're picking it up off Niv, it gets a little bit better because you're going to have probably more cards in your hand at that point than you normally would at that point of the game. Yeah, and then looking at the sideboard here, I really like the Mystical Disputes in here. These have been really good. I almost want to play more. They're great against the tempo decks, like tempo blue decks, and then mostly they're good against control, of course, but they're mostly great against the mirror. Being able to counter Niv Mizzet and Bring to Light and Omnath and stuff like that for 1 mana is really good. It's just nice having a powerful 1 mana interaction spells in here, since so many of your cards are pretty clunky. So when you can leave up 1 mana and play Niv Mizzet on turn 6 instead of on turn 5, for example, it can be the tempo can really be huge. The tempo that you gain from 1 mana spells. So this, Spell Pierce, Thought Seize, I think those are all viable options. All right, let's go ahead and hop into some games. All right. Let's see, we got some lands. I don't have any black mana, so I can't cast Kulgan's Command yet, but Kulgan's Command's typically best to cast later on anyways. I can cast Fable. As long as the opponent isn't too fast out the gate, we should be fine. They did mulligan to 6. I'm thinking about how to sequence. I do have a double white spells in my hand, so I don't have any sign of blue, so I think I'll go with the Jetmir's Garden first. Yeah. Thoughtseize, no, that's pretty good. I'm guessing they're playing some kind of a Kaido deck with the Mockingbird. I don't know why you'd run a 1/1 flyer out on turn 1 unless you're playing Kaido or some kind of ninjutsu type stuff. Yeah, there's ninjutsu Moon Circuit Hacker. This one lets you draw a card the first time. And then later on he gets to loot. Okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and get our second tap land out of the way. We're kind of clunking along here. So now the Mockingbird copies Moon Circuit Hacker, and they're getting some good value there. Yeah, we still are lacking black mana, which is unfortunate. Opponent is deciding what card to discard. They discard a Mockingbird. Fairy Miscreant. Okay. Pillage the Bog. I don't think I'm interested in Pillage the Bog right now. I don't have any 1-mana removal spells in the main deck, so... Oh yeah, I also don't have black anyway, so it doesn't even matter. We're just playing Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And I'm basically just trying to buy time until I can Sunfall. And on my next turn, I'm going to discard 2 cards to draw 2. I'll discard at least one of these lands. They're pretty redundant, my colors at this point. I need black. And then maybe I'll discard... I really want to make sure I hit 5 lands. So discarding both lands is kind of risky, unless I draw another land here. But these 2 black spells are both uncastable, so... I'm going to have a choice, but I'll get to draw 1 more card and see what I get. If I get a black land, I will discard... Okay, I got Beanstalk. I don't think I need a Beanstalk. Okay, I'll definitely discard this forest, and then I guess I'll discard Kulagon's Command, which is kind of weird, but if I draw a swamp, I could pillage and then Beanstalk as a backup. That's not the worst. It feels bad, but I think I want to discard the K command here. Okay, we got a swamp. That's cool. So now I can pillage the bog. And... yeah, I could still Lightning Helix if I hit one. But I gotta fight through some probable counter magic. I still don't have a black, so the Vanishing Verse is awkward here. I can't do that. I could get Bring to Light for next turn, or I could go ahead and get a Caryatid. Caryatid would die, so I think I'm just going to get the Bring to Light, and then we'll Beanstalk, and then just hopefully not die next turn. I have a feeling they have counter magic, though, in their hand. They're playing as though they do. So I might just be dead either way. Had a pretty clunky start here. I guess that's one of the downsides of the deck, though. It does do some clunky stuff sometimes. Okay, we could be facing down a Kaido. Okay, he's just going to draw another card with Fairy Miscreants. And this is looking a lot like he just has a 2-mana counterspell in his hand. I guess I'll go for it. I mean, I don't really have another option. Oh wow, it actually worked. Okay. Here comes the Brazen Bee. So we're going to take 3 there. All of these lands come in tapped. That's pretty unfortunate. I'm going to do this now because I draw a card. I might hit an untapped land. No such luck. Ah, man. Yeah, I think Let me see, does this thing have... Let's see, does this have Flash? No, it just has Ninjutsu, so... Yeah, I'm just going to Beanstalk and play another tap land. I want to make sure I get a black one down. Let's get this red-black one. Oh, nice. That's a good draw. I still have a white land up, so I can do that. And then, so I can remove a guy at instant speed, and I can also put a 5/5 in, if otherwise, if he doesn't put anything I need to remove out. Let's see, next turn I'm going to probably bring to light for, like, Niv or something. Maybe I want to get a Lenda, actually. Just want to make sure I keep my life total high here, since we're getting low. And we're almost turning the corner, but I didn't want to get hit by that flip his Drowner for sure. Okay, I'm doing it like this in case I draw a Leyline Binding. I can still cast it off of Jetmir's Garden, and I can also cast Carry at it if I hit an untapped green source. Alright, so we're going to bring to life for Omnath, because I want to gain some life. So I'll gain 4 life. I don't think I need to carry at it right now. Okay, and so I got 7 lands, so next turn... okay, Enduring Curiosity is a pretty big problem. I'm going to need to exile that thing somehow. I could bring to light for Hostage Shaker or for Vanishing Verse. Or I could just have Leyline Binding, that works too. So let's go ahead and... Alright, I think what I want to do first is Leyline Binding the Curiosity. And then Deafening Clarion to clear his board and get lifelink, do a big swing here. Gain 4 life. And then, let's see, the rest of my turn, I think, yeah, they should just scoop here, that makes sense. Alright, blue-black tempo. Sweeper is good. Kambal's probably fine. Fatal Push we definitely want. Mystical Dispute we definitely want. I'm a big fan of Mystical Dispute in this deck. It's really good in the mirror match. And other than that, yeah, maybe I want Kambal. Maybe I could see Dolben's Veto. Maybe even a Notion Thief. It's a little slow though. But first, let's see what we want to cut before we keep adding things. So this is like a tempo deck, so Beanstalk's pretty slow. Fable's pretty slow. Trim some of those. I don't really want to be pillaging the bog on the draw here either. Want all of this stuff. Nahiri is good. She can exile the Enduring Curiosity. I think Knight of Autumn is fine. It is not great against Enduring Curiosity since it comes back, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe I don't want Knight of Autumn. Most of their guys are flying, so she doesn't interact with them that much. Alright, and last cut. I'm looking at either Fable, Beanstalk, or Pillage. I'll cut one Pillage. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have just cut the Fables. I don't need, like, necessarily more value grinding in this matchup. This hand is keepable. It is vulnerable to Thoughtseize, which I'm pretty sure they're going to be maxing out on discard. There it is. Let's get this down because I want untapped red. Just in case. And so do I just run out Valky here? Sure. They're obviously prepared for this, but I don't know. Could slow them down a little bit. They have no creatures. Okay. I mean, I guess that's kind of... I mean, it's a whiff, but I don't think it's necessarily good news for them because if they're not pressuring me, then what are they doing? Yeah, they're going to need to pressure me if they want to not lose this game. I'm going to fetch a Plains with my Fable Passage, most likely next turn. Because the Plains would let me cast... oh, that's pretty good. They get the draw card because it's a fairy. Oh, right, no? Oh, no, it has to be named a Miscreant. That's right. So, yeah, I get Plains now because... Oh, no, never mind. I can just play the Triome now. It's tempting to kind of beat down with Valky and try to race since I'm not under much pressure, but I just need to keep in mind that I am very much the control and they are the beatdown in this matchup. So I'm going to just hold back to keep their Mutavault in check. Try to wait them out here. Eventually, if we go on long enough, the Spell Pierces will fall off in relevance. I'm going to cycle this Triome at the end of the turn. I just need to find some action. Okay, that's annoying. Okay, that's good. We're starving them of cards there, buying some more time. I'm going to go ahead and fetch now. Just I know it's like marginal, but I'm going to thin out my deck a little bit because there's no other advantage to holding that right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and get a red, sure. Okay, so now I can attack with Valky, since I got the Caryatid to hold back the Mutavault. He's just going to block, sure. The direction this is going is good for us right now. The longer the game goes on, the better. I'm going to start holding these passages now in case I hit Omnath, which I just did. Nice. So I think I feel comfortable blasting Omnath into the Disdainful Stroke. No, actually, I'd rather have Yorion get stroked because Omnath will be better next turn. Yorion doesn't really do anything on its own except just be a 4/5 flyer, so we will eat that Disdainful Stroke and next turn Omnath. Alright, good game. At that point I had 4 mana, so both their spell pierces were not going to do the trick. Yeah, that might have been a case of the opponent kind of overboarding, like they didn't have any early threats. But if we get into the late game, it's pretty clear I'm going to be heavily advantaged. Alright, back for our next game. This I don't think is a keepable hand. Tempting, but no. This is keepable. I probably won't need 2 sweepers. I don't want to wipe out my Caryatid and my Fable, so I'll put back the Deafening Clarion. I'll play the green one first, tapped, in case we hit a untapped land this turn, then we can play Caryatid. Elves, okay. No such luck, so I'll play the Triome. Okay, they're ramping. Is this like the Terror of the Peaks deck? I think I've seen this around. So what do I need with the Fatal Passage? I got Mardu and Naya, so I need both black. No, I need blue. Field of the Dead is banned, so... Oh, I just get to Thornspire Verge, okay. So yeah, go ahead and get an island here. So here I could either do Caryatid, or I could do Fable. Or Caryatid and Fable, or I could just do Niv Mizzet. I think I like just getting Niv Mizzet out and putting some pressure on them. They have 7 mana now. Okay. Wow. World Breaker, huh? Okay. So it feels really bad, but I could Sunfall now, take care of the World Breaker. Like I said, it feels terrible though, because I gotta kill my own Niv. I think that's what we're doing. Feels bad, man. Feels pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just done here. I don't know. I don't know how I'm getting out of this. Can kind of go over the top of what I'm doing even. Um, got a lot of lands out. Okay, Elenda, maybe there's a chance there. I can start gaining some life back with her. So I attacked Chandra to try to discourage her from doing exactly what she's doing right now, which is killing my Elenda, which is my only chance to win the game. And but I mean, I can finish Chandra off now pretty easily, but we'll see if it's enough. I'll need another way to start gaining a lot of life. That's not it. I should have done this first, I guess. Oh, I guess it's a 0-0, sure. I'm dead in 3 turns. They're dead in 3 turns also. No. It would take 4. So I need to get... I really need to draw something. Not that. I said draw something. Let's see what I can get here. Okay, that's a good start. Let's me gain a bunch of life back. I guess, am I worried about getting burned out? I don't think so. So I think I can... No, I mean, I'm going to play... yeah, I'm going to play on the safe side. And just make sure I can gain this life right now. So that's a big swing. Hopefully that's good enough. Okay, they got another Chandra. Alright, so this takes out the Chandra. I was able to gain enough life to stay afloat, despite 3 Chandra emblems. As long as you can just whiff this turn and not... okay. Yep. That was... felt really bad. Just rip a Sire of 7 deaths right off the top. For some reason this thing has Menace on top of everything else. Alright, that was close. I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do about that, right? I almost just want Mystical Dispute just because I can just cast it for 3, maybe, you know? Ashiok's good. She turns off the search. Maybe I want Veto. Lightning Helix is not good, as was just demonstrated. Vanishing Verse. They have a lot of colorless permanents. Deafening Clarion doesn't really do anything. I mean, I know it almost won me the game there, but they don't have any things that actually hits. I guess they have Llanowar Elves. Yeah, I have a lot of bad cards for them, so I don't know. I don't know how many Vanishing Verses are useful, but Lightning Helix, maybe a little bit of reach is fine. I don't know. Whatever. Let's try this. I don't think this is going to be a good matchup for us either way. Game 1 was close. I mean, I don't know. We just needed them to not rip Sire 7 deaths on the last draw step. Right off the top. Why do I have Deafening Clarion in my deck still? That was a mistake. It's not supposed to be in there. Hopefully I can nab something with the Mystical Dispute here. No such luck. I think I'm going to save the Brain to Light and just run out Niv Mizzet. Because Brain to Light could potentially give me an out to exile like a big creature or something like that they play. And Niv Mizzet pressures them immediately. It's also immune to Chandra. Alright, that sets him back a little bit. This Deafening Clarion should not be in here. I hate this card right now. That was definitely a mistake. I meant to cut it out. I even talked about it. I was like, I'm going to cut this card, but... How did they just cast this? Oh, color spells cost 2 less to cast? What the That's insane, dude. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. Sure. So I should be able to Mystical Dispute basically anything they try to run out here. Perfect. It can't be countered. I forgot about that. Ugh. Oh man, this is brutal. Now I lose my Tibalt. I'm going to lose this game because I forgot to board out Deafening Clarion. It's going to feel so bad. Yep. I can bring to light, but like, it doesn't even matter. I can't. Nothing in my deck does anything, so whatever. Like, none of this stuff does anything. He knows about Nahiri, so I doubt he attacks with Worldbreaker here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, wow, what a perfect deck to beat Vanishing Verse and everything that this deck is trying to do. So if you're trying to beat 5-color Niv Mizzet, this would be the perfect deck to do it. Alright. Fair enough, good beats. Alright, next match. It's, okay, this is a good hand. I like this hand. Okay, looks like probably going to be up against that green-white deck. The one with Enduring Innocence and stuff. Collected Company. Okay, actually, maybe it's Angels. Okay, cool. What do you think, Fable or Pillage? Pillage could help me find a removal spell to take care of that before it gets out of hand. But Fable just gets me set up for everything else that's better, and I could rush out a Sunfall too. So let's go with the Fable, and then I'll play the tap land. And then next turn we can have up to 6 mana if we attack with the guy. I don't know if I really want to discard anything here. I'm going to be losing a lot of colors when I Sunfall. So maybe there's something there. I'm just going to discard none. What am I going to need the most? Probably red or blue. Probably blue. We'll get that treasure token. Go ahead and lock that in. So I can use that next turn. Another Giada, sure. And let's just go ahead and Lightning Helix. I guess I should have pillaged first, because I might not have needed to use my token. Might as well plot this here. Alright. Okay, that's pretty good. Build your own collected company. Okay. Opponent is going off. That was actually a really good draw, that land. Okay, so bring to light there. Alright, so now we got Niv Mizzet set up, we got Nahiri, got Knight of Autumn, another Bring to Light. I play Niv Mizzet because it'll block the... It stabilizes the board here, so I don't need to get removal for these guys. Because even if he pumps your Splendid Angel, it's still a 5-5, and then it would die in a spot by Niv Mizzet, so... let's see here. Let's go ahead. Might as well get in for 6. Collect a company, okay. That's a good draw. I think that last turn, maybe I played a little fast and loose attacking. I should have either used Bring to Light to bring something else in or put Nahiri down just to start pumping her up and stay more defensive. I didn't play around Collected Company. I should have done that. I think we're still in a decent position here, though. Feels like I need more mana right now. So yeah, Nahiri, I exiled the creature that pumped all his guys +2/+2. So this opens up opportunities for me to start picking apart his board. Unfortunately, I can't Lightning Helix this turn still. Wow, that's so good. Oof. Oh, man. Yeah, that turn I attacked with Niv, I think I may have punted. May have been a punt. Opponent is deciding if they want to continue trying to pressure me. I really need to hit some lands here. No attacks. Okay, that's pretty good for me. All right, sorry, I really had to go into the tank there, but this way I hold up Lightning Helix. So this prevents him from drawing a card, and I know I won't need to use the Helix this turn at this point after seeing that information. All right. Big old board stall. I guess I should start attacking with this 5-5. I didn't see him over there. Keep an eye on the time. I'm probably running low on time. They're at 52 live, so... Alright, that's going to be annoying. What do I need to remove? Probably... I probably should have gotten the Resplendent Angel. I don't know. Yeah, I should have done the Resplendent Angel instead. We got a big sweep there. And, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can't really attack. That's so annoying. All those spirits they get over there, but... I'm set up to bring in something big this turn, so... They do have a lot of time to... Alright. Jeez, what a grind. That was Angels, so... Alright, we're going to want the Sweepers. We're going to want Casualties of War. Fatal Push. Not much else here really looks that great. And then, what are we cutting? Vanishing Verse is fantastic. Lightning Helix is good. Abrupt Decay is good. I got good removal. Kalagon's Command's probably not great. Kalagon's Command is not a companion. I know that, thank you. I was just trying to move it off to the side there. Knight of Autumn. Good against exactly Enduring Innocence, but honestly not even that good there. I don't need it. I have other ways to deal with artifacts and enchantments. Hostage Shaker is obviously great. I don't know how good Elenda is. I'm not going to be in a position to have a lot of life very often against them, unless I'm already winning. Fable was good there. Cut a couple Beanstalks and a Fable, but just because I don't want to be too dirtily. Just make sure there's nothing else that's bad here. I don't know, maybe Casualties of War is actually just kind of meh. Yeah, I don't want to have a lot of dirtily cards in my deck, so we'll cut that for. Let's just go with the Beanstalk to make sure we're getting off the ground early on. Just being able to cycle it early can help me make sure I'm hitting land drops and curving out and all that stuff. This is actually pretty decent. So I can go turn 1, Fatal Push, turn 2, Caryatid. Okay, opponent is mulliganing into Oblivion. And they just scoop. Alright. That's kind of a sad way to go. That game 1 was really kind of wild, though. Okay, so overall, still love the deck. Super fun. There's lots of ways to build it. And I'm going to just go over a couple of tweaks I'm going to make going forward around the edges. I'm cutting a Vanishing Verse out of the main for a Molten Collapse. I might be traumatized by that red-green Eldrazi Ramp deck that I play against. But in general, I think that it's nice to have this, like, just one completely unconditional removal spell for any permanent in the deck. It doesn't really super have that you can get off Bring to Light in a pinch. And then, yeah, it's just fine. Going to be fine in other situations. Vanishing Verse, when it's good, it's really, really, really good, and it's really good a lot. So I put the 4th one in the sideboard. I cut the 2nd Deafening Clarion that I had in the sideboard because I felt like, I mean, it's really good when you're against aggressive decks, but it did still feel kind of awkward to bring in, like, in terms of boarding, because there's a lot of times where you'd want 1 but not 2 in the deck. So it's usually the first time you cast it, it's really good, and then after that, you don't really need to cast it much more. So I think 1 is fine. So I cut that. And then the other major change that I made is cutting Casualties of War for Dragonlord Silumgar. I'm going to, just as your over-the-top 6-drop, I feel like I don't need more ways to destroy artifacts and enchantments and stuff like that, but I want to have something that packs more of a punch and is more of a proactive threat in its own right, and Silumgar definitely ticks that box. So we're going to try Silumgar. Also, I have very few blue-black cards. I guess I have Hostage Shaker and then a couple more on the sideboard. But, you want to, for Niv, you want to have like a good balance of colors. That's another reason I brought in the Molten Collapse, because I want to maximize my Niv hits. So I don't want to be having too many of the same color pair. You want to have a variety. So getting a 2nd red-black in addition to Kolaghan's Command is fine, and then I'm going down from 5 black-whites to 4 black-whites. So we're balancing that out a little bit, so we'll get better Niv Mizzet hits. And I guess Silumgar kind of plays a similar role where I have a decent amount of green-black already. I have 4 right here. So that's that's the changes I'm going to be making to the deck. Thanks so much for tuning in. Feel free to let me know if you got any questions, comments, and hit me up down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And thanks, everybody. Have a great day.